Tonight, News 4 Jax investigates a local family is among thousands nationwide waiting to learn if they will be kicked out of HUD housing. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is considering creating a new rule to evict tenants who make too much money.
This federal audit did expose there was never a rule before, and that left people abusing the system, wasting as much as $104 million. What's more, it's clogging the system for other families in need. News 4 Jax investigative reporter Lindsay Gardner combed through this report to see what it means for families here on the First Coast. So, Lindsay, is anything going to change?
Well, Joy, a HUD representative told me the report proves the lack of a rule may not violate the law, but it certainly violates common sense. So now they're proposing a rewrite. We initially went to investigate local families possibly abusing the system, but what we found is the answer isn't that simple. There are families who are over income locally, but are they wasting taxpayer money, or is it not that cut and dry? 19-year-old Nathaniel lives in public housing in Jacksonville Beach, walking to work every day to help support his mother and two younger sisters.
Anybody who's abusing the system is miserly. They're just cheap.
His household was included in the more than 25,000 families listed in this federal report, exposing families who live in public housing but are over income. That means your tax dollars are paying partial rents for people who make more than the low-income threshold. News 4 Jax found that income limit is a variable based on family size and cost of living, changing from city to city. This report from the Office of Inspector General points out some shocking cases of abuse of the HUD system, including families making hundreds of thousands of dollars or with nearly $1 million in assets, but living in taxpayer-funded public housing. The reason this report found there is no rule to force these families out after they begin making more money. We found Florida ranked 19th in the nation for over-income tenants, with 297 families making more than that threshold. Georgia ranked even higher at 8th, with 666 families listed as over-income. We wanted to know if there were families abusing the system here in Jacksonville. We learned the families considered over-income on the First Coast were nothing like those extreme cases. News 4 Jax went to Nathaniel's house after we uncovered they're one of the highest over-income families in all of Duval County.
I give about half of my paycheck to the house, but the other half I'm using just for food. Like, it's a lot more difficult than what's on pen and paper.
Even at 19 years old, he understands what this report may look like.
It makes it to where you think, oh, well, are we abusing the system? But no, we're not, because there are gray areas.
Let's break down the numbers for you. Nathaniel's mom recently went back to work when his dad left the family. She makes approximately $26,500 a year. She also gets child support for his two teenage sisters plus alimony, both of those checks coming in at over $14,000. Nathaniel makes just under $18,000 annually, putting the family income at $73,200. The low income threshold for a 4-person household in Duval County is $50,650. So according to the federal report, Nathaniel's family is over income by $22,500. But the Jacksonville Housing Authority says not so fast. The federal report missed a key HUD policy. That means when you go back to work, your income isn't counted fully until your 3rd year. So Nathaniel's mom's income is only registered as half of that. So that's $13,250. Plus, consider his sisters are teenagers, so she won't be collecting child support forever, and the alimony is also going to go away. And if Nathaniel ever moves out, she's back to making well within the low-income threshold.
It's not by any means affordable for us, so there's like no way, no way we would be able to carry on and do what we need to do in order to survive.
News 4 Jax found there are currently 7,000 families on the waiting list for public housing in Jacksonville. The national report cited 19 families as over-income in Duval County. We took those findings to the head of the Jacksonville Housing Authority, Fred McKinney.
We encourage our families to move up and out. When they become economically stable and move up economically, we encourage them to move out.
McKinney's disputed the national report, saying there are currently 5 families considered over-income in Duval County. And McKinney's has no authority to force these families to move on, which in the past he always viewed as a positive.
I think the rule was there for a great purpose and a great intent to encourage people to continue to work and to move up economically. But as you've seen around the country, in some areas, it's been abused.
The report has HUD listening. It's already proposed a national rule change. McKinney says the problem is a strict rule may backfire and encourage people not to work at all and advance their career path. But not Nathaniel. He is dreaming of the day that he makes it on his own and moves out of the system.
It's not a matter of when, but a matter of when we can. If it was done prematurely, it would greatly mess us up.
HUD is taking public comment on the proposed rule change for the next 2 weeks. So if you want to chime in, I posted a link for you on our website, news4jax.com. You'll find this story under our investigative tab. There is also posted there extreme examples of the abuse found in this report. I've also broken down other local areas cited for over-income tenants, but I called all of them, and all of their leadership told me their cases were like Jacksonville. Families in this gray area making more to hopefully get out of the system altogether.
Lindsay, great report. But answer me this. If the over-income families were taken out of public housing, how much would that help other families get into public housing who need it?
It's so complex, Joy, but the answer is it really wouldn't make that much of a dent. That's because there's 7,000 families currently on the public housing waiting list in Jacksonville. Now, that doesn't even include the Section 8 voucher program. That waiting list will open for the first time in 5 years this Thursday. And already JHA tells me they expect another 8,000 to 10,000 people at the fairgrounds to get their name on that report. So if there are 5 families over income, and that's really in the gray area anyways, 5 families compared to the great need in our city, again, not much of an impact.
I am struck by Nathaniel's courage in talking to you, in not closing the door in your face, because he would be faced with the fears that his family could lose this house, this home that they so desperately need.
We were caught off guard as well. We fully expected, you know, it's such an issue of pride when you're talking about your income and your home.
Yeah.
And we were so blown away by Nathaniel's candor to talk about his family struggles. You could tell that his life experiences had certainly aged him well beyond his 19 years. In fact, he talked at length with me about those unexpected expenses that happened to all of us, a medical bill for him and how that's really set him back, or even his sister's art class at Fletcher High School. You know, with all these district cutbacks, an extra $70 that she needed in her art supplies was really a hardship for her mother because that was not in the budget. So $70 that a lot of parents might see as an annoyance or maybe not even think twice about for his family was really a setback that month. So really showing you even at over income, it's really, again, that gray area.
Can you tell us where he's working?
He's working at the Publix. He walks nearby to the Publix right there in Jacksonville Beach.
Thank you so much, Lindsay.